following portion of Bloom is sponsored by Celsus Integrative Therapy.
Addressing recovery and injuries in young athletes sets them up for long-term success and prevents unnecessary injuries. Joining us with tips on how to recover properly is Stephanie Turpin with Celsus Integrative Therapy, who is a licensed massage therapist, functional movement therapist, and energy healer. Welcome back to Bloom. It's great to see you.
Great to see you again.
I have a young athlete in my family, so I'm super excited. I'm going to send her straight to you. She wrestles and is in a lot of pain sometimes. So what is your approach to treating young athletes?
So I'll start with understanding what they do as far as movement is concerned, really understanding what muscles are involved in what they're doing. I'll do a physical assessment just to kind of see how their body deals with gravity in general. And so I use mostly manual therapy to start with. I look at, is there any tension in the muscles? How is the range of movement of the joints, for instance? And we'll address, obviously, if they have any kind of injuries or anything in particular that's bothering them at the time. And then if I suspect that something that is tightening up or being an issue is due to how they're moving, and things not firing as they should, then that's when I move to potentially functional movement training.
Yeah, and you know, so many times you'll hear adults say, well, I used to do this in high school, or I used to do that, and now I got a bum knee and a bum elbow or a bum shoulder. So it's really important to start thinking about getting your young athlete into somebody like yourself right away so you can prevent these injuries from becoming permanent.
Absolutely. It's like you completely understand what I do, Gail. That's exactly right. There is no... It's too early to start, especially if your kid has been very active, if they've injured themselves a few times. And by injuries, I mean, it could be as simple as rolling their ankles, for instance, any falls that they've had. The little ones will just get up and I'm fine, but your body remembers all of those things. So literally years later, 10 years, 20 years later, I don't know why my knee's hurting. I don't know why this is hurting. I was fine, 5 years ago and nothing happened. I didn't fall or anything like that. But the body remembers, and as they're developing into the adult body that they're going to have, those things affect how you move and how the bones are going to settle, how the joints are going to settle. And so you're going to be fine when you're younger, like in your 20s, and you're invincible. But you come to your 30s, you come to your 40s, and that's when things will start showing up that are due to things happening when you were younger.
Yeah, you're so right. I'm so glad that you brought up the point that a lot of times a young athlete, because they have such a passion for what they do, they'll kind of hide their injuries and go right into it, which only exacerbates the problem. So what exactly is functional movement training?
So functional movement training at the basic level is addressing conscious and subconscious movement. Conscious movement is anything that you do consciously, walking, picking up something, grabbing things, running, things like that. Subconscious or unconscious movement is breathing, for instance, things that your body does without you having to think about it. So functional movement training breaks movement down to the very basic level. And then builds up the body from there. So what I use a lot is I use these inflatable cushions that create instability. So it puts the body in a fight or flight situation, right? Don't fall. So you're fighting gravity. And what happens is your body learns to fire all the muscles that need to be fired in order to fight the imbalance that you're in, which is not something that you'll do on the ground. Mm-hmm. When you're standing on the ground, you're going to use the same muscles over and over again. Also, I like to train them without shoes, and that's a really big important part, is working on stability of the ankle, working on firing all of the muscles in their feet so that they're standing better. The better your base, the better everything is above the base. So it's really fun. I incorporate not only just the cushions themselves are really fun and funky looking, but I'll use resistance with colored bands and things like that, and I'll throw balls at them. I'll try to, push them off, and they have to resist me.
This is awesome.
I keep it really fun for them.
I love it. Well, we're really lucky to have someone so forward-thinking in your field, an expert like yourself, and you will be meeting my daughter, Allie, really soon.
I look forward to it.
Yes.
Thank
You so much for coming on Bloom. It's great to see you.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
And for more information on Celsus Integrative Therapy, you can visit their website online, celsusintegrative.com. We're going to be back with more Bloom right after this, so don't go away.
The preceding portion of Bloom was sponsored by Celsus Integrative Therapy.